There was once a man named David. He wasn't famous. He wasn't rich. But in his early 20s, he was filled with ideas. Big ones. He wanted to build something of his own. Maybe a business. Maybe a book. Maybe a legacy. He didn't quite know yet. He just knew he wanted more. But every time he got close to starting, life whispered, "Wait. Wait until you have more money. Wait until you feel more confident. Wait until you know what you're doing. Wait." So he waited and waited. 1 year became 5, then 10, and slowly the spark inside him started to fade. Not because he didn't want it anymore, but because fear wore a mask called logic, and comfort disguised itself as safety. He told himself, "I'm being smart, responsible." But deep down, he knew he was hiding. But something happened at 38, something that shattered everything he believed about time. At 38, David got a phone call. His best friend from college. Gone. A heart attack. Just 39. No warning. No signs. Just gone. That night, David sat in silence. The world didn't feel real. He kept replaying the memories, the late-night talks about chasing dreams, changing lives, building something that mattered. And no, one of those dreamers was gone. Forever. And for the first time, David really understood something. Time doesn't wait. For anyone, it doesn't ask if you're ready. It doesn't care about your fear. It moves forward, silently, relentlessly. And so, something inside him snapped. But not in a way that broke him, in a way that woke him. He got up the next morning and started. No plan, no guarantees, no perfect path. Just one choice, to begin. And that choice changed everything. But what if he had waited just 1 more year? Would he have missed it all? Within 3 years, David built a business. Not a billion-dollar empire, but something his, something real. He started speaking, helping others like him. People stuck in the maybe later trap, and people listened because they could see it in his eyes. This man had lived the regret they feared. He used to say, "One day I'll start." Now he says, "I wish I'd started sooner." But here's the thing. You don't have to make his mistake. You don't need to wait for loss to begin. You can start with fear in your chest and no clue what's next. That's exactly how all this begins. Not with confidence, but with courage. Not when you're ready, but when you're willing. David thought he needed a perfect moment. Turns out, the perfect moment was the one where he finally moved. And the same moment is here for you. Right now, David waited too long. And no matter how much he grew after, he can't change that. He can't go back and give himself the years he lost. He can't relive the chances he walked past. He can't erase the nights he stayed silent when his heart was screaming to act. But what he did do was make a different choice with the years he had left. He took the pain of lost time and turned it into fuel. He turned the regret into wisdom, the waiting into action, the silence into a voice that now reaches thousands. And now he tells people something simple, something honest, something that might be the most important sentence of his entire story. You don't need to wait for pain to wake you up. You don't need a tragedy to finally realize your life matters. You don't need someone to disappear to remember that you're still here. You don't need all the answers, all the tools, or anyone's permission to begin. You don't need the stars to align. They rarely do. You just need this moment. Right now, this breath, this minute, this one heartbeat where you stop waiting and start moving. Not because you feel ready, but because you finally realize ready is a myth. Ready is fear's favorite lie. It tells you to wait until you're smarter, richer, more prepared. But the truth is, you become all those things only once you start. You don't need confidence, just courage. You don't need certainty, just a step. You don't need perfection, just momentum. Because starting doesn't begin with clarity. It begins with commitment. It begins when you finally say, "I've had enough of waiting for someday. I choose today." And that's when everything changes. Not all at once, not with fireworks, but quietly like a seed breaking through the soil, like a new sunrise after a long night. like a whisper inside your soul that says, I'm doing it now, no matter what, even scared, even unsure, even if I fail, because the pain of failing is still lighter than the weight of never trying. And the truth is, your dream is not as far away as it feels. It's waiting on the other side of one bold decision. So ask yourself right now, in this exact moment, what if I stopped postponing my potential? What if I treated this day like my turning point? What if the version of me I've always dreamed of is only a few uncomfortable steps away? And the most important question of all, if I don't do it now, then when?